Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us for Together. I'm Britt Marino. Karen is off this week. For more than a year on CBS4, we've been sharing Together for Colorado stories with you. They showcase the amazing people in our state who work together to make our communities even stronger. This show is dedicated to all those stories, and we love bringing them to you. When a Lakewood police officer was hurt in a crash, he wasn't sure if he would ever walk again, but the community came together to help him recover, and so did a guardian angel. Tori Mason explains.
This officer is slowly getting back to normal.
Went to a few crashes, wrote some tickets.
Lakewood police agent Mark O'Donnell was on patrol when an SUV turned in front of his motorcycle.
So I have a closed head injury, I broke my jaw, I broke my neck, and I have a fusion in that.
Erica Lamone saw the crash and rushed to help him.
Had it not been for her, I wouldn't be here standing and talking.
Now O'Donnell is back to work. What it means to be part of the community again. That's next on Together.
Make-A-Wish makes kids' dreams come true. And for many children, that can be something like a trip to Disney World or the chance to be a superhero for a day. But for one little boy in Denver, his wish was simple. Joel Hillen explains.
You know what this is?
6-year-old Sean has a little bit of an obsession. He loves garbage trucks.
He does nothing but watch garbage truck shows, documentaries, kid shows, recycling, anything like that.
When Make-A-Wish Colorado offered to grant him a wish, Sean knew what he wanted to do. Sean got to be a garbage man for a day.
Everybody's been so warm and welcoming, it's been incredible.
Who came together to make his dream a reality? Coming up on Together.
A Labayda teen is making a huge mark on her little mountain town. Now she's getting recognized for all her hard work. Matt Kroschel shows us how she's using a special talent to connect with her peers.
Not many people know sign language, but Athena is working to change that.
It's an S, socks.
She volunteers at the Boys and Girls Club teaching sign language.
It was something that phenomenally changed my life.
She's now up for a national award.
Yeah, I'll be going to Washington, D.C. in September.
For Athena, this isn't about accolades. Why her mission to teach sign language is personal. That's later on Together.
Art can do so many things. It can express emotions, provide therapy, or even share community stories. A Westminster artist is using her art to help preserve her family's history, and she just earned a prestigious award for it. Labayda shows us her incredible work.
The San Luis Valley is the original Colorado. Mostly untouched over time, the culture of Colorado's first settlers lives in the minds and stories of its people.
But I just try to remember.
Like Josephine Lobato.
A lot of it is like an illusion.
She loves to tell stories of the old days.
According to this legend, that beautiful Indian girl fell in love with a young conquistador, and they had 2 little boys. So she found him coming out of the church with another young lady, and she went back to her little home and...
She knows stories like these are disappearing, and she wanted to preserve them for her family.
All those things were part of my life.
So she turned to a traditional stitching method called colcha and started bringing her memories to life on tapestries.
And I can sit here all day and do this.
She was nominated for the National Endowment for the Arts National Heritage Fellowship, the nation's highest honor in folk and traditional arts. Just this past month, Josie got a call she thought was too good to be true.
He said, "Don't hang up on me, it's not a scam."
She will get a $25,000 award, a trip to D.C., and one of her colchas will hang in the Smithsonian. But more importantly, her culture, our culture, will live forever.
But I'm only the second person in Colorado to get the award, and so it does mean a lot.
And good for her. Labayda is joining us now in studio, and what I love about her is that she takes such care in documenting her stories for her family, and it is important for her family, but I would also say it's important for Colorado, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget that when they think about Colorado history, the first people here were the Native Americans and then the Spanish. You know, they came up from New Mexico, they settled in the San Luis Valley, and they had a whole culture there before this was ever part of the United States or Colorado territory, and that culture is still alive. It's very heavily influenced by old Spain. You know, they speak a very old version of Spanish that really can't be found anywhere in the world. And as people move out of that valley, and they're kind of losing that culture a little bit. So I think it's important that she's documenting that and preserving it, because it is a part of Colorado history that people forget about, but it's an important one.
Right, and there's history in the art form as well, a colcha.
Yeah.
I mean, explain to us, how did she learn how to do that?
It's actually a bit of a long story, but I'll try to boil it down for you. Basically, it's an art form from northern New Mexico, and it was very heavily influenced by Native Americans in the area. Well, she was working at Fort Garland down there as a museum curator, and she happened to have the day off, and her boss was like, hey, this artist from northern New Mexico is doing a class at the local church. Why don't you go check it out? So she goes and checks it out, and then she comes back to Fort Garland, and she says, oh, we've got a colcha hanging here in Fort Garland. Now, let me try and do this a little bit. So she starts doing it, she starts practicing, and most of the traditional colchas are done of things like nature, you know, plants or trees or animals. But she just decided, hey, I'm going to use this to, you know, document these stories and these legends from my childhood and the things that I grew up hearing and experiencing. That way my kids know what my life was all about.
It was just meant to be then. Michael, thank you so much. We do appreciate you coming in and talking to us.
Yep, of course.
Alrighty, everybody. Colorado lawmakers came together to make sure 2 fallen deputies are always remembered. 2 post offices have been renamed in their honor. A plaque outside the Highlands Ranch Post is in memory of Douglas County Deputy Zachary Parrish. Another one that sits outside the Brighton Post Office is for Adams County Deputy Heath Gum. Both men were shot and killed on the job. Deputy Gum's father says this honor means his son's sacrifice will never be forgotten.
When we first learned that Heath had been murdered, we all agreed that we would never let the world forget his name or who he was. And I believe this dedication will help solidify his legacy for many generations to come.
It takes an act of Congress to rename a post office. Lawmakers introduced resolutions to make it happen, which President Trump then signed into law. A Lakewood police officer seriously hurt in a crash has returned to work, and he credits the community for helping him in his recovery. It was last August when Mark O'Donnell was nearly killed while on patrol on a motorcycle. As our Tori Mason found out, after 10 months of recovery, he's ready to get back to work.
Beyond thankful to be back.
Agent Mark O'Donnell is out of his brace and back in the blue.
I wouldn't pick a different profession.
After 7 months of desk duty, the officer's easing back into patrol.
Went to a few crashes, wrote some tickets.
It's been a long recovery full of miracles, starting with an off-duty dispatcher at the right place at the right time.
Had it not been for her, I wouldn't be here standing and talking.
Erica Lamone rushed to help O'Donnell after he was thrown from his motorcycle in August.
That is my angel, 100%.
From his angel on the street to his angel at home,
Her name is Miley.
O'Donnell was never alone.
Between my family, my extended family, my police family, my therapists have been some of the biggest cheerleaders, pushing me every day to get better.
And that's good, because he had a lot of getting better to do.
I have a closed head injury. I broke my jaw, I broke my neck, and I have a fusion in that.
O'Donnell also broke both wrists, his left forearm, and his left leg.
Then I've got a leg one that's pretty spectacular.
After months of physical therapy, he's excited to be back on the street protecting the public. But from now on, you'll only see him on 4 wheels.
My motorcycle days are done. I've had enough close encounters with vehicles. Can we not do that again?
I'm Tori Mason, covering Colorado First.
We are thinking of you, Officer O'Donnell. And here at CBS4, we're dedicated to celebrating Colorado's amazing students. That's why we have the Future Leader Award. How this month's winner made a difference in the medical field even before graduating high school.
I've always been interested in the medical career, and I wanted exposure to like a hospital.
Together with Karen Leigh, sponsored by Canvas Credit Union. We're Canvas, and we've got you covered, Colorado. Go live.
Here at CBS4, we find some of the state's brightest science, technology, engineering, and math students. So Lauren Whitney is here to introduce us to this month's future leader.
And she really is going to be a future leader. Michelle Perez Guevara graduated as valedictorian of her class at KIPP Denver Collegiate High School. She's part of the Denver Health's MC² program. It exposes students to all kinds of medical fields. Michelle says she spent last summer working in the surgical center and even got to sit in on some surgeries.
I not only saw what a doctor got to do, but like what nurses, what surgical technicians got to do, and I saw so many aspects of the medical career that I never thought I would get exposure to.
What a wonderful internship. Michelle will be attending Washington University in St. Louis this fall, where she plans to take part in the pre-med program. She hopes someday to become a neurosurgeon, and that is a really good pre-med school, so she is definitely already at the top of her class. And each one of our future leader winners get $1,000 to help them in their studies. You can see all of the profiles of our winners at cbsdenver.com.
She is amazing.
I can't even look at, I couldn't do that. I would pass out.
Our future leaders, everybody. Lauren, thank you so much. We appreciate you. This kickball tournament is more than just bragging rights. This game is also a way for the community to support a young boy in the fight of his life. What the support means for his family. Coming up on this week's Together for Colorado calendar, the 4th of July festivities start Tuesday with fireworks in Glendale. Wednesday, you can enjoy more fireworks and great music at Independence Eve. CBS4 is a proud sponsor of the event at Denver's Civic Center Park. Then on Thursday, it's the 38th annual Freedom Run in Evergreen. The event supports Mount Evans Home Health Care and Hospice. Find more information on these events by visiting the Together for Colorado section of cbsdenver.com. Coloradans are coming together to kick out cancer. A charity kickball tournament last weekend raised money to help a 4-year-old boy fighting leukemia. Jacob Bain hasn't let the disease slow him down. You can see he still runs around with a big smile on his face. Power Home Remodeling hosted a tournament to help children just like Jacob.
We just really don't want to see kids, have to go through that and not be able to afford the transportation, the research, the funding, all of that.
He's got all his energy back and he's doing really well, so we couldn't be happier.
Money raised at the tournament goes to Alexa's Lemonade Stand. The nonprofit is focused on childhood cancer research. MakeAWish Colorado is dedicated to making life a little better for kids with serious illnesses. Just last week, the organization granted its 5,280th wish. Our Joel Hillen introduces us to the latest child to get his wish granted. And much like the number I just mentioned, his spirit is a mile high.
This button right here, the red button, it turns off the whole entire truck.
For 6-year-old Sean, garbage trucks are everything.
We cleaned out the basement one day, had a bagster, and he was there when the dumpster came to pick it up, and he's just been fascinated ever since.
Here, I'm going to open up the door, and you get to see the patio.
He does nothing but watch garbage truck shows, documentaries, kid shows, recycling, anything like that.
Justin Cooley is Sean's dad. He says Sean is the light of their lives.
It don't matter where he's at, who he talks to, who he's with, he'll make everybody smile.
Sean suffers from a rare blood disorder that compromises his immune system.
He's very lucky with the type of his disease that he's able to do a lot more, playgrounds, out and about. So we just try to make sure he's able to do everything that he can.
As part of that effort, Sean's parents applied to MakeAWish Colorado. And in the shadow of Broncos Stadium at Mile High, Sean got his wish, becoming a garbage truck man for the day.
You see everything going through his mind as he's experiencing it, and I'm still taken back. I haven't processed it quite yet.
Sean also got to visit a recycling facility And the volunteers at Make-A-Wish showed up to make sure that Sean felt special.
Everybody's been so warm and welcoming. It's been incredible.
Close it.
Even though a cure may not be in the cards for Sean, this day was a day where wishes came true. In Denver, Joel Hillen covering Colorado First.
Sean, you are a sweetheart. When you think of firefighters rescuing animals, you probably think of cats, but they saved ducklings too. How one crew came together to help some lost ducks in Littleton. The Boys and Girls Clubs of America give kids a safe place to build great futures. One girl in Labayda credits the club with giving her the support she needed as she faced a tough diagnosis. She wanted to give back. As Matt Kroschel discovered, her volunteering has earned her the title of Youth of the Year.
Hundreds of kids attend the Boys and Girls Club here in Labayda, but one of them has been awarded the highest honor in that organization, and it's because of what she's doing here to help her community.
It's an F. Fox.
It wasn't so long ago that Athena was a student here. Now she is the teacher, teaching kids how to sign. She taught herself sign language because slowly she's going deaf.
One way to help retain the information is to teach it. So that was one reason why I did it, and also just to share it with everyone else because it was something that phenomenally changed my life.
Hearing aids now help.
These kids that I've met here were the reason why I felt comfortable sharing about my hearing loss and showing people my hearing aid.
Her journey here volunteering, not just at the club, but all over town,
I mostly like you because you volunteer a lot.
I do volunteer a lot.
landed her with the honor of being selected Colorado's Youth of the Year by the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, I'll be going to Washington, D.C. in September.
In my 30 years, there's just one Athena Kitchen. She really has risen above the top 1% of kids that I've ever seen.
She beat out young folks from other states to win regional honors and could be named national winner soon.
Our kids all look up to her and cheer her on.
Okay, who wants to send a word around the room?
Me.
Sometimes that special person comes along and leaves a lasting impression.
She's just at the pinnacle of, and just continues to push it beyond what we ever thought any one kid could do.
A small town success story. Athena's already been awarded a $40,000 scholarship. She'll be heading off to college later this year. Reporting in Labayda, I'm Matt Kroschel, and I'm covering Colorado First.
What an amazing young woman. Well, Coloradans are all about protecting wildlife, and that includes our firefighters. A group of them harnessed their creativity to save ducklings who wouldn't come out of a storm drain. This video is from South Metro Fire. Crews rescued 4 ducklings very easily, but the other 4 wouldn't come out of the drain. That's when they used a YouTube clip of ducks to coax them out. And the duck calls worked. All 8 ducklings were reunited with their mom, who was waiting nearby. Thanks to South Metro for that one. Thank you so much for joining us on Together. Karen will be back next week with even more of these wonderful stories that we love to share. Until then, we leave you with a little music from Rachel Melby. She's one of the volunteer musicians who plays to animals at the Routt County Humane Society in Steamboat Springs. The goal? To calm the animals down while they wait for their forever families. Enjoy.
Walk up with slow steps to feel the breeze. It's hard to feel gravity when